भारती न्यूज।
अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम विश्वविद्यालय के बहुत विद्वान सहयोगी डॉक्टर पिताबस प्रधान को बुलाना चाहूंगा, जिनका जनसंपर्क और कॉर्पोरेट संचार पर पकड़ है कि आप इस मीडिया और लोकतंत्र के जो ये इक्वेशन है, इसमें कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर को और जनसंपर्क की जो जिस तरह का दबाव है, हस्तक्षेप है, उसको किस तरह से देखते हैं। डॉक्टर पिताबस प्रधान।
Very good afternoon to all of you. Esteemed Professor M.N. Huda Sahab, Director of Bharati Vidyapit, Professor Shivaji Sarkar, Professor Hemant Joshi, Dr. Sumit Mukherjee, Dr. Dugesh Tripathi, and Sachin Bharati. Esteemed members, faculty members of this institution, and my dear students. What I come across, what I found that is engaging the attention of media students today is, is the media following the ethical parameters expected of it? Is it performing the role expected of a media? These are the questions engaging the minds of young students and the common man as well. And these two, they are encountering questions, and there is a great increasing perception, strengthening perception that the credibility of the media is declining. Credibility of the media is declining. So I would like to say something. I would like to clarify, express my opinion about what kind of role is expected of the media as fourth estate. When we call the media as fourth pillar of a democracy, what kind of role is expected of it? Is it fulfilling that responsibility, that role, the media, we expect from the media? This is the question. But I would like to, we often allege that the media has been commercialized, corporatized. They are driven by market forces, and they are following the principles of market in their operations. It has commodified the media content. So the media is of providing content which the people demand, which the people like. Once the resident editor of the Times of India was visiting my department. One of my students asked him, why you are publishing more of page 3 news and less of developmental news? The answer was, who reads development news? This is the answer. So the situation, the environment in which the media operates, the media market defines the kind of role it plays. So I'd like to explain I would like to speak on how the role of the media has changed and why the media is being subjected to the principles of marketing rather than the role expected from it as a fourth pillar of democracy. I will start with what makes the media the fourth pillar of a democracy. The three core pillars of a democracy on which actually a democratic system survives and grows are the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. But often, the media plays the role, a very important, a very vital role of making the three pillars responsive to the aspirations of the people, aspirations of an emerging, a developing democracy, a liberal democracy. So with that notion, actually, we have granted a unique constitutional and legal status to the media in India. We have incorporated Article 19(1)(a), from which freedom of the media flows. The media freedom flows from that article. And our first generation of leaders, they wholeheartedly supported media freedom, perhaps with the notion that the media will play a very important role in acting as an interpreter between the government and the people. The media has to inform and educate the people about the issues which are coming from day to day and it has to remind the government of its responsibility towards the press, towards the people, towards the citizens of this country. Expecting this role from the media, actually, India has granted a special status to the media. But at that time, the situation was different from what we are facing today. At that time, media was started as a mission. Those people who were committed to serve the society, they started journalism. They started media. The second important factor was that the Indian freedom struggle and many such struggles from across the world actually motivated people to take social responsibility, to be socially responsible. And another factor considered the time while defining the media's role as a fourth pillar was, the private organizations, private players cannot do public service. That was the feeling, that was the belief. With that, actually, the media was expected to play an interpreter between the government and the people, the people. With that, the media was expected to play a constructive critique of the government while keeping the people informed, educated, and entertained. It was expected to play the role of reminding the government about its responsibilities to the people and to the country that was emerging then as a new nation. But over the years, we all know that after the economic liberalization that was introduced during 1991, three important changes have taken place. At that time, media was considered as a scarce resource, but today, media has grown into very big institutions, and its growth has outpaced the growth of the Indian economy. The first change that has taken place. The second was, news came from across the world that many private organizations were also doing wonderful public service. So it was not necessary to think that only government-owned media can do public service, can have social commitments. And the third was the economic model that was introduced after the weakening of the socialist model. Because people raised questions: if a media organization failed to survive, how can it do public service? So these three questions were raised to define media's role, to redefine media's role. So what happened? Because of the growing bigness of the media, because of the growing influence of technology, because of the profit prioritization of the media, and because of, market-driven, that is increasing influence of the market forces, the media was subjected to the principles of marketing. So what is happening? The media is catering to the interest of the people, but unfortunately, the media is, on the one hand, the media is trying to cater to what the public are demanding. At the same time, it is also forming the mood of the nation, shaping the mood of the nation through its agenda building role. So now the media is playing two kinds of roles, only two kinds of roles. One is agenda builder, and the other is a critical commentator. The media is projecting issues which are important to the public through its agenda building role. But exactly what is happening is that it is projecting issues from which it benefits. This is exactly what is happening. The media, as part of its agenda building role, the media is prioritizing issues from which it gets benefited. It is aligning with forces from which it gets benefit. This is exactly what is happening because of the changes in the market, because of the changes that has taken place in the media market. You can see, despite a huge increase in the media system, despite a huge increase in the number of media institutions operating in any country, including India, what is happening? There is growing content uniformity. The people are not getting the kind of diversity of content that expected of a media, modern media, in a liberal democracy like India. What kind of contents are being provided? Very similar contents in almost all the newspapers we are reading every morning, almost similar contents. And that too, content which suits the ideologies, sections from which they benefit. This is exactly what is happening. But as future journalists, as budding journalists, we should not get disturbed by this kind of trends. We have to understand the shift. Because the market is changing, because the forces are changing, so you have to understand how to learn how to practice journalism in changed circumstances. Okay? So we have to redefine the role of the media. We have to redefine the role of the media. How you can do public service despite the growing influence of the market forces. A very noted journalist has stated that the media is prioritizing certain kind of content because it wants to satisfy certain sections from its benefits. For example, if you see the media, mainstream media, they are aligned to one or the other political ideology. The mainstream media is aligned to one or the other political ideology. Why they are aligned? If we say, every day we are facing questions about which media, whose media, and Sumeji has rightly pointed out, somebody says it is Godi media, somebody says it is the opposite. So like that kind of division is taking place. Even some people are questioning about the fundamental principles of journalism, The relevance of the principles of journalistic ethics are questioned today. They are not necessary. Some arguments are being made. Rather than thinking about how to professionally implement those standards, those professional ethics we are talking of, we are debating the relevance of those ethical issues, that is ethical issues of journalism today. You know C.P. Scott, a very famous journalist, has said that he has defined what is known as the credo of the press, credo of journalism. What is credo of journalism? He said, the news media should be open to all points of view, but finally its responsibility is to give the facts, to report the facts, because the public has every right to know the facts about an event so that they can decide with full information. They can take decision with full information. Okay? So this is the kind of role that was expected of a media, expected of journalism. As C.P. Scott told, comments are free, but facts are sacred. Comments are free, but facts are sacred. If a media is reporting contradictory points of view, conflicting parties, then it should be open to all points of view, but finally the responsibility rests with the media to give the facts, to tell the truth to the people. Then only they can decide with full information. They can decide with full information. They can participate in the democratic process. They can contribute to make a democracy prosper. They can contribute to make a democracy prosper. If they are misinformed, if they are disinformed, they are not likely to, because misinformation and disinformation is more dangerous than no information. So what is very important for the media today to understand, and the future journalists to understand, is that the media has to, whatever the conflicts, whatever the situation may be, the media has to tell the truth, because that is what conditions minds of the readers, minds of the people. then only they can do, they can take a decision, they can participate in the democratic process, and they can be contributors to the the development of a liberal democracy like India. So, my view is that yes, the media environment needs changing. The media has to change its role. The media has changed its role from the very beginning till today. But we have to understand the changing role of the media in the changed circumstances, and we have to find out ways how to protect the credibility of the media and to practice journalism so as to fulfill our social commitments, so as to fulfill the commitments of the media, okay, is a important social institution. Okay, thank you.